Everyone wants to move to the Texas Hill Country. They see the charm, the sunsets, wide open land. And yeah, it can look like paradise, but there is one thing no one tells you. Living out here will expose you. And I'm not just talking about the elements, the distance from town, the wildlife, but who you really are when things aren't easy. Now, to be fair, not every part of the Texas Hill Country is like this. There are more areas that are more connected, more cushioned, but the further out you get, the more real it gets. Because this place is beautiful, but it does not care about your comfort. And trust me, you'll hear people say it is peaceful out here, and it is, but quiet also means isolating, especially when your closest neighbor is over a mile away from you and the only sound you can hear is your own second thoughts. So let's be honest, do not move to the Texas Hill Country unless you can handle these 6 things. They're not what you think, and they're definitely not in the brochure. Everyone talks about the views. That golden hour light hitting the hills just right, the way the clouds stretch like brush strokes across the sky, it's magic, no question. But nobody warns you what comes with those views, and that is dust. So much dust.
Too much dust.
See, the higher you go, the better the view, the more exposed you are to the wind, to pollen, to microstorms that kick up the topsoil and hurl it sideways at your house. You'll find yourself wiping down counters even when the windows are shut. Your car always looks like it just ran through a storm, even if it didn't move. Your porch permanently coated. And if you've got allergies, cedar season is going to feel like a slow personal attack. Yeah, the views, they can absolutely be stunning, but it comes with texture and it's called grit. Everyone dreams of having land. Room to breathe, no neighbors, your own little kingdom. Until the power goes out, the well stops working, the internet blinks off during a thunderstorm. Again.
Here are some practical tips to troubleshoot common Wi-Fi problems. Tip number 1.
Now, as mentioned, this isn't every corner of the hill country. If you're living closer to Fredericksburg, Kerrville, or even parts of Blanco, you'll probably have more reliable service and backup options. But once you're out towards places like Harper, Stonewall, or the back roads leading between Mason and Junction, this is the reality more often than not. Because here's what they don't tell you. When you live in the Texas Hill Country, you don't just own land, you manage the infrastructure. You'll learn how to reset a water pump at midnight. You'll become strangely familiar with the sound of a propane tank running low. You'll troubleshoot Wi-Fi with 1 bar of cell signal while standing on top of a fence post because that's the hot spot.
Damn it!
And forget calling someone to fix it because sometimes you're that someone. You came here for freedom, but part of that freedom means handling stuff yourself. Out here, you're not just the homeowner, you're the electric company, the water board, and tech support.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
People say they want peace and quiet. And at first, you get it. You step outside and there's no traffic, no sirens, just wind in the trees, maybe a hawk circling overhead. But then something strange happens. You start noticing things you really haven't heard before. The creak of your porch at night, the distant yip of those coyotes that sound just a little too close for your comfort. That's something that's rustling in the bush that may or may not be watching you. Out here, silence isn't silence. And that quiet you craved, sometimes it's peaceful, but sometimes it's unnerving. You moved out here for peace and quiet, but nobody told you peace comes in absolute darkness. No streetlights, no neighbors' porch lights, not even the faint glow of a city skyline on the horizon. At first, it feels magical. You see stars you didn't even know existed, and your phone's flashlight feels like some kind of Jedi weapon. But then you hear a twig snap and your eyes don't adjust fast enough, and suddenly you're standing in the kind of dark that thinks back at you. You absolutely love the idea of dark sky ordinances until you're standing in the dark, fumbling with your keys, and you can't see your own hands. Out here, the night is absolutely wild, and peace, well, it's only peaceful if you're not absolutely panicking in the pitch dark. Now, as I mentioned, this isn't every corner of the Texas Hill Country. If you're living closer, you get it. So space, that's the dream, right? No apartment walls, no neighbors peeking over fences, just you and the land. But here's the twist nobody expects. Too much space can mess with your head. You start with excitement, walks around your property line, planning projects, breathing it all in, but weeks go by and the silence sets in. You haven't waved at a human in days. The driveway feels like a backcountry expedition. You run out of milk and wonder if it's really worth the 40-minute round trip. And then when you're surrounded by nothing but trees and sky, you start asking those weird questions like, do I even exist being out here all alone? And is that buzzard circling around me? It's beautiful. And isolation isn't just physical, it's actually psychological. Out here, space expands and so do your thoughts. You're free. And in talking about free, you moved out here for freedom. No hoe telling you what color your shutters can be, no city ordinance about how many chickens is too many, no neighbors calling code enforcement because your truck's in the yard. You're free, but so is everyone else. Your neighbor might build a barbed wire sculpture of a flamingo and call it art. Someone 2 roads over might fire off fireworks on a Tuesday in July during a drought. The guy down the hill, he's got a rooster that doesn't believe in sunrise. It screams at 2 a.m. And if you need help, there's no city hotline. There's no noise complaint officer. You're on your own.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Freedom feels amazing until it doesn't. Until you wish there was just that one rule to fix the thing that you can't. Way out in the boonies of the hill country, no one tells you what to do. But the problem is, no one's coming to help either unless you're well connected with your neighbors and your small community. If you've built those strong relationships, it changes everything. But if you haven't, it's just you and the quiet. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Everyone romanticizes the wildlife. Deer grazing in the morning mist, a hummingbird at your feeder, maybe even a fox darting across the road. But nobody warns you about the real animal kingdom out here. Wild hogs tearing through your yard like they own it, raccoons smarter than your trash cans, coyotes howling at 3 a.m., or worse, dragging off your chickens at dawn. Owls don't hoot softly from treetops, they drop like missiles on small pets. Bobcats don't pose for photos, they stalk. And your dog? Well, they may just come home with a face full of porcupine quills again. Out here in the Texas Hill Country, you're not just watching nature, you're in it. And it doesn't care if you're ready or not. Living in the Texas Hill Country isn't easy. It's not always what you thought it would be, and it's definitely not for everyone. But if you can, handle the quiet that isn't quiet, that space that stares back at you, and the freedom that comes without a safety net. If you could sit under the sky and feel small but not alone, then maybe this place is for you. Because out here, the land doesn't try to impress you, it just is. And over time, you either leave it or let it shape you. So don't move to the Texas Hill Country because it's pretty on Instagram. Move here because it changes you in ways that you didn't see coming. I hope this video gave you something useful, and if it did help you see things a little bit more clear about the Texas Hill Country, make sure you hit the subscribe button, but also that little bell so you get notified anytime I put out videos just like this one. And hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling in 3 days or 3 years, I would love to be your realtor of choice. All my contact information is down in the description. And if this video hit home, make sure you watch this next video. I think you're really gonna like it. We'll see you in the next video.